Earlier this year, the London Times captioned your photograph with the title, F.A. Hayek, the greatest economic philosopher of the age. I dare say that 20 years ago you would have been given a different title.
Oh, very different, yes.
In your mind, what is the reason for the respect that your ideas are currently garnering when so recently they met with open hostility?
Well, I think the main point is that the decline of the reputation of Keynes. You know, 30 years ago there were two, it may sound curious myself saying this, but I believe about 1946 when Keynes died, Keynes and I were the best known economists. Then two things happened. Keynes died and was raised to sainthood, and I discredited myself by publishing the Road to Serfdom. And that changed the situation completely. And for the following 30 years, it was only Keynes who counted, and I was gradually almost forgotten. Now, Keynes, the failure of the Keynesian system, the inflation, return of unemployment, all that, first confirmed my prediction in the strictly economic sphere. At the same time, my studies of politics provided, I believe, answers for many problems which had begun to bother people very seriously. But there is a good reason why I am being rediscovered, so to speak.
Well, if Keynes were alive today, how different do you think the political climate would be?
Very likely very different. So Keynes was very capable of rapidly changing his opinion. In fact, he was already, when I talked to him last time, very critical of his pupils, who in the post-war period were still agitating for inflation, and assured me that if his ideas would ever become dangerous, he would turn public opinion around in a moment. 6 weeks later, he was dead and couldn't do it. But I wouldn't dare to say what his development would have been. He has been so much an intuitive genius, or not really a strict logical reasoner, that both the atmosphere of the time, the needs of the moment, his personal feelings might have swayed his opinions very much. I regard him as a real genius, but not as a great economist, you know. He's not a very consistent or logical thinker. And he might have developed in almost any direction. The only thing I'm sure is that he was disapproved of what his pupils made of his doctrines.